What if the past could be revived to shape the future? What if an idea, long buried in history, could rise again to transform the world? As the global balance of power shifts, we are witnessing the resurgence of ancient strategies in modern geopolitics. Among these is the timeless wisdom of the 36 stratagems, ancient Chinese tactics designed for survival and dominance. One stratagem, in particular, stands out: borrow a corpse to resurrect the soul. This stratagem teaches us to take something abandoned, forgotten, or seemingly useless and repurpose it to serve modern ambitions. It's about giving new life to the relics of history and harnessing their symbolic or practical value for a contemporary purpose. In this video, we'll explore how China's Belt and Road Initiative, one of the most ambitious geopolitical projects in modern history, perfectly embodies this ancient strategy. We will uncover the historical roots of the Silk Road, the resurrection of its spirit through the BRI, and the profound implications it carries for the world today. This is not just a story of roads and ports, it's a tale of strategy, power, and vision. To fully grasp this concept, we need to delve into the original meaning and purpose of borrow a corpse to resurrect the soul. This stratagem originates from the classic Chinese military text, the 36 stratagems. The idea is straightforward yet ingenious. Take something that has lost its original purpose, a defunct system, abandoned concept, or even a literal corpse, and infuse it with new life to achieve your goals. It relies on leveraging the existing structure or symbolic power of something from the past rather than starting from scratch. In its original form, the stratagem suggested reanimating a defunct system or using the remnants of a failed endeavor to achieve a fresh purpose. For example, an ancient general might use the name of a fallen leader to rally troops or resurrect old laws to stabilize a new regime. Sun Tzu himself emphasized using existing advantages, whether physical, symbolic, or psychological, to gain the upper hand. Beyond ancient times, we see this in the modern resurrection of ideologies such as socialism, repurposed in various contexts to legitimize political power. This ability to make the old appear new, or the irrelevant seem indispensable, is the essence of the stratagem. It's a strategy of resourcefulness, perception, and reinvention. To understand the Belt and Road Initiative, we must first journey back over 2,000 years to the Han Dynasty of ancient China. During this time, a vast network of trade routes emerged, stretching from China through Central Asia and the Middle East to Europe. This network became known as the Silk Road, a name derived from the highly coveted silk that Chinese merchants exported to the West. The Silk Road was not just a trade route, it was a lifeline of civilization. It carried spices, precious metals, textiles, and exotic goods, but it also facilitated the exchange of ideas, religions, and technologies. Through the Silk Road, Buddhism spread from India to China, paper and gunpowder traveled to Europe, and ancient medical practices were shared across continents. Unlike other ancient trade routes such as the Spice Route or the Amber Road, the Silk Road's impact went far beyond commerce. It connected empires, forged alliances, and influenced cultures on a scale unmatched in history. For centuries, it was a symbol of connectivity and prosperity. However, it was not without challenges. Empires rose and fell along its paths, wars disrupted its flow, and eventually, new sea routes rendered it less relevant. By the 15th century, the Silk Road's significance had faded, leaving its legacy buried in the sands of time. Fast forward to 2013. In a speech delivered in Kazakhstan, Chinese President Xi Jinping announced a bold new vision for global connectivity: the Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI. This initiative seeks to revive the spirit of the ancient Silk Road, but on a scale never before imagined. The BRI is a sprawling network of infrastructure projects designed to connect Asia, Africa, and Europe. It includes railways slicing through deserts, ports rising along remote coastlines, and highways cutting through rugged mountains. More than 140 countries have signed on, making the BRI one of the most ambitious geopolitical undertakings in history. President Xi encapsulated this vision when he described the BRI as the road of peace, prosperity, openness, and innovation. For participating nations, it promised development, trade, and a shared future. However, beneath the grand rhetoric lies a complex and contested reality. Projects such as Kenya's standard gauge railway exemplify both the promise and pitfalls of the initiative. While the railway has improved connectivity and boosted trade, it has also left Kenya with significant debt. Similarly, Sri Lanka's Hambantota port, built with Chinese loans, was eventually leased to China for 99 years when the country struggled to repay its debts. These examples show how the BRI's impacts are deeply intertwined with the strategic and economic goals of its architect. Here, we see the stratagem borrow a corpse to resurrect the soul in action. The corpse is the Silk Road, a relic of history, long dormant but rich with symbolic meaning. Its memory evokes images of trade, cooperation, and mutual benefit. By reviving this idea, China gives the BRI a veneer of legitimacy and familiarity. The soul is China's modern ambition, to expand its economic reach, assert its geopolitical influence, and reshape the global order. The Silk Road provides the perfect vehicle for this ambition, allowing China to frame its efforts as a revival of an ancient legacy rather than a new form of dominance. By invoking history, China portrays itself as a benevolent leader, offering global prosperity rather than rivalry. This echoes historical parallels such as the Marshall Plan, where the United States leveraged aid to Europe after World War II to counter Soviet influence and rebuild its global stature. In both cases, historical symbolism and strategic investments intertwine to reshape the world order. Through this stratagem, China achieves multiple objectives. It creates global connectivity by physically linking regions and facilitating trade. It strengthens diplomatic leverage by funding and building infrastructure in partner nations, many of which become economically dependent on Chinese loans and investments. Additionally, it enhances China's soft power, portraying the initiative as a vision of shared history and common destiny, which bolsters its image as a global leader. The implications of the BRI are as vast as the initiative itself. For participating countries, the benefits are clear: new highways, upgraded ports, and enhanced trade routes. In nations like Pakistan, the BRI has brought massive infrastructure investments through the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. In Africa, new railways connect cities that were once isolated. But there is another side to this story. Many nations now find themselves burdened with unsustainable debt to China. Projects that seemed like opportunities for growth have turned into financial liabilities, leading to accusations of debt trap diplomacy. In some cases, countries have had to cede control of strategic assets, such as Sri Lanka's Hambantota port, which is now leased to China for 99 years. Geopolitically, the BRI challenges the dominance of Western powers. It extends China's influence into regions traditionally aligned with the United States and Europe, creating new power dynamics. It's not just a trade initiative, it's a strategic move in the great game of global politics. Culturally, the BRI reframes China's role in history. By positioning itself as the inheritor of the Silk Road's legacy, China projects an image of leadership and benevolence, even as it pursues its own interests. Another fascinating historical example of borrow a corpse to resurrect the soul can be seen in the revival of the Roman Empire's legacy through the establishment of the Holy Roman Empire. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE, Europe entered a period of fragmentation and chaos. However, in 800 CE, Charlemagne, the king of the Franks, was crowned emperor by the Pope. This act symbolically resurrected the Roman Empire, not in its original form, but as the Holy Roman Empire, a new political and religious entity. By invoking the legacy of Rome, Charlemagne and his successors legitimized their rule and united disparate territories under a shared heritage. The title of Roman Emperor carried immense symbolic weight, even though the Holy Roman Empire bore little resemblance to the ancient Roman state. This is a classic example of borrowing the symbolic corpse of a defunct empire to create a new and powerful soul. Borrow a corpse to resurrect the soul is a stratagem that reminds us of the enduring power of history. By reviving the Silk Road, China has not just built bridges and railways, it has crafted a narrative that reshapes how the world sees its ambitions. But this resurrection raises questions: whose soul is truly being resurrected? Does the BRI represent a new era of shared prosperity, or is it a tool for one nation to assert its dominance? The Belt and Road Initiative stands as a testament to the timeless wisdom of the 36 stratagems. It shows us that the past is never just the past. It is a resource, a tool, and, in the right hands, a powerful weapon for the future. The Silk Road's legacy has been resurrected. But its story is far from over. The world will watch as this ancient corpse walks again, its soul breathing life into a new global order.
If you're interested in the 36 stratagems, I highly recommend reading the book series titled 36 Stratagems in Modern Geopolitics. One standout book in this series is the 36 Stratagems, China's Silent War Against U.S. Global Hegemony. It offers fascinating insights into applying the strategies from the ancient Chinese classic in contemporary global politics. I've included the Amazon link for this book in the description. It's a compelling read, filled with modern examples that vividly illustrate the timeless relevance of the stratagems.